Yo, what up? I guess to really no one. I am trying to keep a video log of my time at Galvanize, um, starting with when I started, but story of my life. It is now a week later, a week and a day later, and I'm getting around to doing it. I can't decide what I want this first video to be about. I don't know if I want to recap everything or go back and do it at a later time. Um, so I think for now, I just want to kind of lay out of what I'm going to be talking about when I get a chance to talk. I think the first thing that I want to say is, why am I doing this? Partially, it's for me, just track, well, I guess mostly it's for me to track, like my progress, where I've been, where I started. I think it'll be cool throughout the 6 months to really kind of go back and check, I don't know, my progress. Um, that being said, today is, oh my God, what day is it? Oh, Tuesday, February 21st. It is 8:30 at night, Mountain Standard Time. And I just got back a few seconds ago or a few minutes ago from walking home from Galvanize. So today in class we learned about, God, I can't even remember. Well, we talked about testing, and we went through some CDD or TDD or LDD in the very beginning of the morning, and went through how to open it, how to check your status, all these node things and all of that stuff. I'm sure it'll make a lot more sense once I really understand what it's doing. Right now, it's just kind of basic concepts that I have no links to them, so I can say something all day long. It doesn't make any sense. We also did some responsive CSS today, which I thought was pretty cool. They took some time out to really just help people that had problems with CSS and responsive CSS. We also learned semantic HTML today. I think as a whole, I feel pretty good about what's going on, and that makes me nervous. I understand the concept of HTML, so semantic HTML. It wants you to prevent using all of these divs just to do whatever you want to do. There are already elements that exist that are specifically designed to be, the navigation bar or the footer or things like that. It's going to be tricky to get in and really put those things in instead of just creating our own things. Some challenges I see for me: the more we get into CSS, I understand it. It's all this stuff is cut and dry. Like here's the building block, and you go from there. The issue becomes creating, like right now, I'm creating this HTML scrimmage, CSS scrimmage thing, which basically they want you to make sure you can do things in GitHub, create a Git. They want to make sure you can create a master, all of these things. They're looking for specific HTML and CSS elements within it. And now that I understand semantic HTML and CSS a little better, I just want to completely, redo everything. And I feel like I can spend hours just digging in to, for example, like in my nav bar now, which is where I've started. Do I want a border of a nav bar, or I'm trying to figure out now how I can directly affect the attribute, which is every link I have in there. So home, wherever. I want those highlighted, like all these actions I can do to all these different things. And you could just spend hours upon hours just researching all these cool little styles you can do. The struggle, and I feel like the hard part for me, will be to just stay on task and stay focused. I am really trying super hard to make sure that I do an outline and do bones, and then organs, and then meat, and then nervous system and skin, whatever, instead of just trying to make one perfect eyeball. I need to make sure that I lay out the skeleton. What else am I thinking about? So feel pretty good about that. Let's see. I think we're doing some TDD, test-driven development for semantic HTML tomorrow. Tonight, I just want to go through and work on my scrimmage. My goal tonight will be to at least have a presentable scrimmage. Not a whole bunch of pages, just I want one page with basic information that I can style, a little bit better. And I want to be able to create it a certain way. And if I can do that, then I can spend extra time, styling it and all of that good stuff later. So that's my goal for the night. I also want to mess with Akira a little bit, and I want to ideally create a list of a list of shortcuts for everything that we learned from week 1. Because I know there's going to be a time further down the road, like you forget something, and the amount of time it's going to take you to Google the answer is going to be, longer than what it would have taken me to just be like, bam, there it is in my notes, or bam, there it is in my note card. I want just a clean version of that that's just easily, readily accessible, a cheat sheet, if you will. Also, something that I want to go over, the benefits of journaling and the polya's method are substantial. We learned that basically the first day, and I'm going to try to keep notes and journals of problems that I solve and things that I do, and I want to be able to write out steps before. It helps me really visualize like what's going on, because I have a tendency to see a problem and just start going, not really knowing where I'm going with it, not even knowing how to solve it, just start throwing things down. And I think that laying out a plan and then also helping me go step by step really keeps my brain focused on one thing at a time and not thinking too far ahead, which I have a super bad problem with. I don't really know if I want to do like a journal recap, like Dear Diary thing. I might start doing that later, but for the most time, I want to just kind of do a recap of today, where I am, week 2 in the program. I feel pretty good. And as I said at the beginning, it's a scary thing to think, I want to just keep repeating to myself, complacency kills, because the instant you think you know this shit, you don't. The moment you feel comfortable enough to stop learning is when you end up behind. And, I've spent my entire life, like knowing something and knowing enough that now I don't have to worry about it. But that's not how programming is. It's not how coding is. I mean, you can be like that, I'm sure. I'm sure you can get the building blocks and never have to fuck with things ever again. But that's not what I want to be, and that's not what this program is about. Me, and I think a lot of people in my cohort, want to be the best at what they're doing. And that's something that I can say that I haven't wanted in a very long time. And it's scary because you have the ability to fail. And I have never failed at something because I've just never tried at something. The Army, I never failed because I 100% did it and I never had to fail, but I committed to it 100%. I could have failed, but I didn't. But nothing like that in life, I feel, has really been like that for me. I've been too afraid of failing, of screwing up. And now I found something that it's time to do, and do it well and do it correctly. So feeling pretty good. Also, I just really wanted to get everything out of my brain. It's a lot today. I mean, spending 8 hours in the classroom and then however many hours afterwards just looking at code, I can grind it out, obviously, but I really need to remember to take care of myself and just step back and to learn to relax and just, treat things correctly. So trying to form good habits. Rounding on the 10-minute mark here. I don't know if I want to keep these shorter or longer, but James, technically the first video of the series. Good job, man. Keep it up, and I will talk to you tomorrow or when I talk to you.